Welcome to the Bank First Ranger Hour. Super Talk Mississippi 93.7 Spotlight on Northwest Community College. And you can listen to our live stream at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the Bank First Ranger Hour. Now, here's your host, Gary Darby.
Well, friends, let's do this Bank First Ranger Hour, shall we? 6 minutes after 9, Thursday, April 24, 2025 edition of the program. We call it the Bank First Ranger Hour. And a couple of guests lined up to chat with us today about a few different things. And I've got a lot of sports information that I need to get to. It sounded like it was a great day, as most days are on the Northwest campuses. But, you know, Sports Talk Mississippi there yesterday with Borky and Heindl. And an opportunity to talk with a lot of the coaches and those that won, whether it was national championships or conference championships or whatever it may be along the way, and celebrating a lot of great athletics on the Northwest campus for the past seasons. And now we're still working through some. And at the end of the program, I need a little extra time because we have baseball rescheduling to talk about, rodeo starting tonight in Senatobia, men's tennis back in the postseason, softball action this weekend, a little bit of everything going on, so I need a little extra time to get to that. So we're probably going to get into our guests a little bit earlier in the show than normal. The first will be Lucia Nelson, and we'll talk about the upcoming art sale and things that actually started this morning at 8. Artwork from some of the current students and things, and trying to get their work out, maybe for the first time, kind of seeing how that business works. We'll talk with Lucia coming up about 7 minutes. I think we're going to go at 9:15. And then when we're done there, Tim Garrett is director of bands. We're going to catch up with him. Band concerts coming up, end of the year kind of stuff, both in the world of art and then in music. And then I'll get my sports information stuff out there for you, send you to NWCCRangers.com, and then also kind of set up the rest of the day and tomorrow and all on Super Talk here in North Mississippi 93.7. Let's pause and get into the world of art. Lucia Nelson's going to join us on the other side, scheduled to be with us to talk about the art sale going on campus as we speak. And then we'll get into music with Director of Bands Tim Garrett, and I'll finish the program with a lot of news in the sports world all around Northwest Community College.
TV advertising on the radio. Sounds crazy, right? SuperTalk Mississippi Media is deploying streaming TV ads across multiple channels and platforms every day. Streaming TV allows you to place high-performing video messages on popular streaming platforms such as Hulu, Pluto, Crackle, Sling, Tubi, and many more. These ads are measurable. You can reach viewers across major networks and reach people who've made the switch to online streaming services on both large screens and small screens. Plus, STMM offers programmatic video ads and YouTube video ads. These ads will be served on YouTube and or Google partner channels. 73% of all adults in the U.S. use YouTube, 62% use it daily. Video ads have a much higher recall rate. We can help you with website design, optimization products, targeted display advertising, social media campaigns, and much more. Reach out to any SuperTalk Mississippi media representative in North Mississippi at supertalk.fm. And for a free assessment, go to stmmdigital.com.
As a hometown bank, Bank First is proud to offer top-notch banking products like home, personal, and business loans, and perks-earning checking accounts. Bank First supports local businesses and people who support their communities. We believe our towns, no matter the size, deserve the best products and the best customer service, an experience we all deserve. We're hometown banking at its best. We're Bank First. Do you bank with us? You should. Bank First is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This hour is Everything Northwest, your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College, and powered by Bank First. Thanks for joining us on the Bank First Ranger Hour. Join the conversation now by texting 662-426-1093.
Anytime there's a show going on, that text message line is there. Tomorrow, when we're doing North Mississippi Spotlight, and we're talking maybe a lot of high school athletics, or the weekend that will be for Ole Miss and Mississippi State, you can text message in. Saturday, when we're doing the back nine Rebel Strike Zone, and you got questions about baseball, you can send it in. Or on a day like today, when we're talking Northwest Community College, you got something you want to say, again, 662-426-1093. On the phone with us, our friend in the art department, Lucia Nelson's back. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much, Gary.
Yeah, I made the joke with you, I said, other than busy, because, I know we're about to talk about an art sale that actually started an hour and 15 minutes ago, right?
Right.
So we're going to make sure people come in the doors a little bit today, but there are other things going on, including, I guess, winding down and getting to the end of another semester. So if you don't mind, how was the semester in the world of art? And I know we have a lot that we can get into, but as an instructor there, did you think we had a good portion of 2025 that we can give a big thumbs up on?
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it. We have some really talented students and making some really beautiful artwork. So it's been a good semester. We've got a handful of students that are graduating in May, and we're going to miss them terribly because we've had a great year so far with all of our students.
Let's discuss some of the awards then, if you don't mind, that some of them picked up recently.
Yeah, I'd love to discuss the awards because we're so proud of our students and our program. There's a state art competition that is sponsored by the art teachers at community colleges across the state, and it's hosted at a different community college every year. It kind of rotates around the state. And this year it was hosted by Itawamba Community College, and we had great success at this competition. We won 9 awards, which was the most given to any one school that participated, including Best in Show. We won Best of Show. So we won awards in the categories of drawing, printmaking, ceramics, sculpture, and digital art. So we were very, very excited about that, and again, so proud of our students for those awards.
What was the piece that got Best in Show? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
It was a drawing. It was a pen and ink drawing that one of our students did. She's a sophomore, and it was every year our library here hosts a Halloween drawing contest on campus, open to any students at Northwest, and this was the submission that she had for that. So it was kind of creepy in its appearance, kind of dark in its theme, but it was based on a work from art history by Titian, who was right after the Renaissance, and it was really just a great piece, just very technically accomplished. And the competition is judged. It's a juried competition by professional working artists. So the judges, they write a statement about the show, and they really gave this work a lot of praise because it was just again technically accomplished and just smart and very timely because it had aspects of technology as part of the theme and incorporated. So it was just a really fantastic work of art.
I know we're supposed to get into the art sale and more, but I have one more question before we do.
Sure.
And that is, you mentioned the sophomores that you have and those that are about to leave at the end of the semester. Do you have some that are going on to other and four-year schools? Do we have some ready to get out into the world and do other things? What do we know about the group that's leaving the art program at the end of the semester?
We have some students that are transferring. Quite a few of our students are transferring. We have one that has gotten into the architecture program at Mississippi State.
Awesome.
We're really proud of her, and got another student that's been accepted to the graphic design program at Mississippi State. And we've got another student that's going to be going to the University of Memphis for ceramics. She really fell in love with that. We have a great ceramics department here, and she fell in love with that medium, and we just couldn't keep her out of the ceramics lab because she loved it so much. So we've got quite a few students that are transferring, and moving on to the 4-year. We've got some students. One of our best students is working on getting into nursing school. So
interesting.
So we're proud of all of them, and just really hope that they achieve all that they possibly can.
All right, we're supposed to be here talking about the art sale that did begin today. So tell us a little bit about the sale, why we do this, and then we'll kind of break it down a little bit as to what we can find at the sale today. But just give the generic what we're doing today.
So the art sale is one of our greatest teaching tools that we have here. We feel really strongly about that because it shows the students and gives them experience with the whole process of being a working artist, from conception and the ideas that the artworks are based on. So you take it from idea through production, and then you get it presentation ready, you get it priced, you promote the sale, and then you market it, in our gallery. So it really gives students the full experience of what it takes to sell artwork. And of course, there's a lot of instruction about craftsmanship and presentation, and really taking care of your artwork, in this whole process. So we really like this. The students, of course, like it because there's money involved, and they retain 90% of the profit from their artworks, and our art club gets 10%, and we basically use that money to buy club T-shirts. We don't make the students pay for their T-shirts, and we go on field trips. We'll take a field trip each semester. So that basically just pays for our gas and any kind of entry fees into museums that we go to, because we go to a field trip in the fall and one in the spring. So they love it because they always end up with a little fold money in their pocket too.
Yeah, it kind of gives them a taste of the real world, so to speak, and then to maybe see for the first time one of their pieces of work that someone thought enough of that they wanted to give some money for, and
sure,
has to be rewarding in all regards there.
Yeah, and confidence building and all of that. Yeah.
What kind of pieces will we find in the sale today?
So we've got more artwork in our gallery, I think, than we've ever had at any of the sales. So we've got drawings, paintings, we've got pottery, there's some sculpture, photographs, prints, like linoleum block prints, and we've got some things that the students really get into, stickers, which is really kind of a collaboration between our students and our library, because they have a sticker machine over there, and our students really love making the stickers. So, and we've got buttons, keychains, bookmarks, jewelry, just everything. Anything that you can imagine being crafted by hand, we've got it here.
So last thing, why don't we tell the people where they can come and see the sale and take part, and what we have going on?
Yeah, we would love for everybody to come see us today. So we are in the art building, and we're in the art gallery, and it's kind of confusing because now on campus we have 3 buildings that have art in the title. Mm-hmm. So our building is the one that's by the Fine Arts Auditorium. So we're in the art building, in the gallery here. We've got signs up to help direct people around, but we are here until 2:30 today, and we are welcoming everybody with open arms.
and people in the Senatobia area, and I'm really talking to the male population. Mother's Day is coming up, okay?
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? I try and help out the other, I may forget to do things from time to time. And if I can help others, I try and do so. So we do have that coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of vases, like pottery vases here that you could fill with some fresh flowers. And what better Mother's Day gift can you get than that? A handmade piece of pottery with some flowers.
How about that? All right. Good stuff, Lucia. It's always great talking with you. Thanks for your time this morning.
As well. Yeah, thanks so much, Gary. Appreciate it.
All right. There we are. Things going on in the world of arts on the Northwest campus. Again, in the art building. Go check it out. Apparently, a lot of work, maybe more work than they've had in the past, as you said, in the gallery, and it's waiting for you and a chance for current students to feel what it's like to have some of their work, paid for by you and maybe given as a gift or putting it in your home or whatever it might be. I think there's some good stuff that you can go and find. Again, we thank Lucia for being with us on our program today. Next, we're going into music. We'll bring in Director of Bands Tim Garrett. He's going to be on the other side. It's the Bank First Ranger Hour, Thursday, April 24 edition.
Thanks for listening to the Bank First Ranger Hour, your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College on Super Talk Mississippi 93.7 and streaming live at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the Bank First Ranger Hour.
And again, we thank Lucia Nelson for being on. The art sale's going on as we speak at the building there on campus. Lots of great things from the students. You can go check it all out. Help the kids out, help the art department out with all that they do. And we, again, had a good conversation there. Now, Tim Garrett's Director of Bands at NWCC. How are you, sir?
I'm great, Gary. Good morning. How are you?
Things are going well here. I guess maybe the last time face-to-face we saw one another was Meet the Rangers night, rather warm on the turf that time, and that was before football season, and now boom, semester's coming to a close. Tim, you know what I'm saying?
It has been a very busy but very fast year for me.
How have things gone in the building? Okay?
It's been great. Yeah, it's been great. I've got the best students. Like, they're just fantastic. They work hard. They achieve high. Like, you can't ask for anything else.
What are we doing right now at the end of the semester concert-wise? And you can take it because I know you have multiple. But where would you like to start, and which one do we need to get the information out first?
Well, we have quite a few things going on. Tonight there's steel drums and percussion ensemble, and then Monday night we have a reschedule for the Jazz 1 and Jazz 2 bands. Like, we had a concert a few weeks ago, during tornadoes, and we decided to reschedule because it got pretty ugly in Senatobia. And then next Friday I left out. We have day of percussion here. It's a bunch of high school students come on campus, and they go through all the things with percussion, and it's a huge day for instruction, and we bring in clinicians for that. Mr. Ungright is on top of all things percussion. And then next Thursday, our concert band concert. We have 3 concert bands here for the first time, and it will be a busy night for sure.
I asked John one time, is it too late for an old guy like me to learn to play the steel drum? Right? I've always been intrigued by it, but never really had the opportunity or made the time, probably is the best thing to say, to do that. Is that, in your opinion, would that be a difficult thing for an old dog to learn that new trick?
I don't think so. We have many students that are not percussionists that join that ensemble and come out, and there's, at one time at least a couple of community members that would come by and kind of learn to see what was going on. So I think he'd probably be okay, Gary.
It's been a while, though. It's definitely been a while. Where are all these events taking place?
Everything we do is in the Heindl Center. which is our home, and most things take place in the great auditorium that is, on the other end of the building from us, and it's great to have everything self-contained in such a great atmosphere.
I asked this question of Lucia with the art department, and obviously you are dealing with more students in all of the bands and things, but I would assume, you got a bunch of sophomores that are getting ready to continue their music travels in different places, correct?
We do, unfortunately. I hate to see them move on. It's so tough. In a 2-year situation, it's so tough to build depth and quality depth from top to bottom. Once they're here, you're like, oh, this is great. And then, half of them are leaving.
Yeah, right.
And we start over again. So, but we have lots of students that are headed to Ole Miss next year that are sophomores, and quite a few that are going to Mississippi State, and some that are going to Memphis. So, they all will be in different places in, a very short amount of time here.
And then they'll be walking back on campus in future days and saying hello and keeping up. And I know that happens a lot, doesn't it?
It does. We last semester there were former students that came by that, walked in the band hall on game day. I had no idea who it was. Walked in and said, hey, I said, how can I help you? And they said, hey, we just, we were here in the band in 1983. We just wanted to come see it.
Yeah.
So you never know who's going to walk in.
I peeked in the window. I didn't come through, right?
Well, you have to come in next time.
I just peeked in the window. I didn't make.
I know it looks like a circus inside. It's madhouse going on. Lots of students and things going on everywhere. But come on in next time.
No, I think what I was just looking at and amazed and knowing, the building I walked in and where we rehearsed, and now looking at what has been given, to you guys on that Northwest campus and in that Heindl Center, state-of-the-art stuff. Just unbelievable.
Oh,
yeah.
It is over-the-top great, and everyone that comes in that's never seen it is just mouth on the ground, completely stunned. I had no idea this was here. We had a student that came in this year, and his mother used to be a band director years ago, and they walked in. She called me and said, Mr. Garrett, I'm here to meet you, about a scholarship audition for my son. Where are you? I said, I'm in my office. She said, well, I'm in the band hall. No one's here. And I said, well, where in the band hall? And she described the old building. I said, we're on the new side of campus here. And she walked over and walked in and went, I cannot believe it.
Yeah.
She's completely floored, completely stunned, and blown away.
Yeah,
it was the greatest thing to watch.
Same feeling, absolutely. So with that, as you mentioned, turnover is happening, recruiting going on, and do you already have the preparations started for next football season?
Well, Gary, I will recruit until we start. I will, beat the streets and email and call band directors and students until I cannot take any more. We work tirelessly to try to fill out the ensemble with quality students from our area, and that process for me never really ends, ever. And so we're in the middle of it now, and we will continue. It will start to slow down, in July a little bit, once you kind of have a pretty round number of who you have. But, it just takes a lot of time to go through that and make sure that those kids have taken care of all their things to be on campus, their financial aid things, and their dorm application, that kind of stuff. So it's a very lengthy process for every student.
What's the number you're looking for as far as marching band is concerned?
Well, I don't want to put a number on it because it's you want to make sure that you hit your goal and do those kind of things. I would like to say that we want a quality program year in and year out, and would love to be about the same size as we were last year. And last year we were 220. And so right now it's so early, it's hard to tell what our exact number will be, but I'm pretty sure we'll be pretty close to last year.
Excellent. We're talking with Tim Garrett. He's Director of Bands at Northwest Community College. If you don't mind, before we let you go, give the times and places for the concerts and things that are upcoming here in the next couple of weeks, and tonight for that matter.
Absolutely. Tonight is Steel Drum and Percussion Ensemble at 7 o'clock. Monday, we have the jazz band concerts, and those are also at 7 o'clock. And then next Thursday, our spring concert band concert for all three concert bands, and those begin at 7 o'clock as well.
Excellent. All those free o charge, is that correct?
Absolutely.
Can't beat that price, right? Come in, get the entertainment, and take in the Heindl Center and catch all of these concerts. Tim, any last message before I let you go?
Appreciate you having me on this morning. We love being able to be featured and thought about, and feature our great students that we have here. And just appreciate your time, Gary. Thanks.
Always. Thank you, Tim. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Tim Garrett, Director of Bands. You can find out a lot about the Department of Music, and whether it is bands, which we were just talking about, choir, whatever it might be, northwestms.edu. northwestms.edu, and then you just find the Department of Music, and you can find out some of the different things, the different bands that are there, multiple ensembles along the way. We mentioned a little bit about the Ranger Marching Band, but then, the other things that are going on, things that he just mentioned, like, the jazz ensembles. They have 1 and 2. There's a quintet. He just mentioned the steel band, percussion ensemble, brass ensembles, woodwind ensembles. A lot of performances for the public and concerts like we just mentioned, including that with the steel drums and more tonight. At the Heindl Center, scholarships, let's just say there's a mom, a dad, or someone listening that might be looking into the music business or looking for that scholarship. You got a kid, and again, it doesn't look. Color Guard is there. There's plenty of things. Scholarships are available for both instrumentalists and vocalists, so you can go check it out. northwestms.edu for that. Now, I'm going to finish up with the final 10 minutes or so of the program talking with you about the goings-on in sports, and there's a lot. And we begin with Northwest baseball. They were scheduled to go against Itawamba, and then Mother Nature had other ideas. And so they rescheduled for today, and the doubleheader will begin at 12:30 on the Northwest campus, and the second game around 3:30. So it's a big game for a lot of reasons. Both of these teams trying to make the playoffs, and in the Mississippi Athletic Community College Conference, I think that's what we're calling it. You're battling for positioning. You're doing what you can do to get yourself into a playoff situation. And right now, these two teams are right with each other in the standings. When we look, Northwest currently 9th and Itawamba 10th. Northwest 11-13 in the conference, Itawamba 10-12. Rangers with a better overall record, 28-17. With Itawamba at 23-19. But one game separating these two in the playoff standings and trying to climb, obviously. So a sweep of today's doubleheader would be absolutely huge. Northwest has already played 2 more conference games than Itawamba, so they have a little bit left to go. But a big double dip today, and again, that first one will begin at 12:30 and then approximately 3:30 for game number 2. So Ranger baseball in action, as we mentioned, 28-17 overall, 11-13 in the conference. After this double dip against Itawamba, they finish up the regular season at East Central, who's number 3 in the country and currently in the conference standings second to Pearl River. So a big one today with playoff hopes for both of these teams kind of on the line in Senatobia, 12:30 and 3:30. in Senatobia. All right? And catch that. Softball, number 13 in the country. They are 38-8 overall, 19-7 in the conference. They've won 6 straight. They are coming off of a doubleheader sweep at Itawamba yesterday and finish up their regular season on Saturday for sophomore day against East Central. So if you're looking for something along those lines on Saturday and you're a softball person, we encourage you to go check out that, as softball hosting East Central at 2 and at 5 on Saturday. So you've got softball action coming up as well on the Northwest campus this weekend. And then into the playoffs, as you know, softball has already put themselves in that world of playoffs with an obvious 38-8 record, and again 19-7 inside the conference. So finishing up the regular season and then moving forward after that. Speaking of postseason, the men's tennis team is back in postseason. They missed last year, but they're back after going 10-4 this year, and currently they're nationally ranked in men's tennis as well. They're participating in the NJCAA Region 23 Championships. Northwest men ranked number 18 and headed to the postseason, where they are competing today at 10:30 in Ellisville against 5th seed Colin, and the winner of that match will get either the host seed number 1 Jones or the 8th seed Northwest. So, you know, they had the Sports Talk Mississippi guys there yesterday, kind of talking about all the championships and the things that athletics had done in some of the football and volleyball and whether it was cheer and dance and whatever it might be, and the great seasons they had. And here we're talking about all of these others, right? Baseball trying to work their way to the playoffs, softball in there. Tennis has returned on the men's side, and again at 10:30 in the Region 23 tournament against Colin, who's ranked number 5 in the country. They played Colin way back on February 14, and Northwest won a close one, 5-4. So that is going on today as the Rangers, who are the 4 seed, take on the 5 seed Colin, although Colin ranked higher nationally in the polls, according to what I'm looking at. Anyway, you can keep up with all of that at NWCCRangers.com. And, of course, last week we had champion steer rider and coach Will Loomis on. And the event is going on starting tonight through Saturday out at the Lawrence Bud Young Arena. They're on Highway 4. 3-day affair, the regular season finale for the National Intercollegiate Rodeo Association's Ozark region. So main competition begins at 7 each night, and you can still, at this point, get some tickets at nwccrangers.com/tickets for $10 or $15 at the gate, and admission free for children 6 and under. So there's rodeo going on. There are other things that are happening. Baseball this afternoon, softball on Saturday, other things to keep up with, all at nwccrangers.com. As the Bryans, Lentz, and Oakley keep up with everything that's happening for you there. I don't think if I left anything out, I apologize. But I think we got to everything we could today. Bank First, we thank you. Northwest, we thank you for making our Thursdays what they are between 9 and 10. Bank First Ranger Hour with good information today. We have the art sale going on campus now. Go to the art building there and go check it all out. As I mentioned, you might find a good Mother's Day gift or you may have someone with a birthday coming up, or you might just want something for the house, or you might just want to help a starving artist who are just now getting underway in their career. That sale is going on. You got the concerts going on, even tonight at the Heindl Center. And don't forget, too, this weekend, that group called the Commodores, they're making their way into Senatobia and the Heindl Center as well. HeindlCenter.org. I'll send you there for that information. That will conclude our Bank First Ranger Hour. Tomorrow, in our North Mississippi Spotlight, high school playoff action. Some of our softball teams already in the second round in our lower classifications, 4 down to 1A. 5, 6, 7 just getting started in softball and baseball. So we'll have some of that information for you on the program. SEC baseball discussion, I would assume, as big series coming up. Ole Miss hosting Vandy, State going to Auburn. We'll kind of get into all of those and the rest of the SEC world as well. The NFL draft is tonight, so who knows? There might be a connection from some of our schools that we might need to mention as well. A lot of sports probably on the discussion tomorrow. You always know 662-426-1093 is where you can text message in. You also know supertalk.fm is a place you can go and keep up with almost everything. Supertalk Mississippi Media Group, from top of the state to the bottom, putting the news and sports out there for you. Plus, it's a way for you to listen live, watch some of the shows live, do everything you need in the Mississippi world. Supertalk.fm. So I'll leave you with the midday program, Gerard Gibbert, and you know the rest of the run all the way into our Sports Talk Mississippi guys. And then tomorrow morning, a little bit after 9, about 9:06, 9:07, we'll get started talking with you again. Thanks for being with us on this Bank First Ranger Hour. Maybe you got a little something out of it, and you know a little bit more about things going on all of the campuses. Till tomorrow morning. Watch out for a little rain occasionally. So long.